Very good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome back to the Masters. We are up and running. Apologies for the slight delay this morning. I was just a little bit late getting up and running. But we are now alive and we are going. And it is Tommy Donlon that has got us going. Looking very sharp out there. Getting ready to take on Chris Day. Two-session match, race to 13. This is from the last 32 of the Masters. 2 sessions. First session will be 12 frames. We'll be back later on for the second session, which we will see to a conclusion. Tony Holgate joins me on commentary this morning. Tony, very good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, fascinating match ahead. One of my old sparring partners there, Tommy Donlon, the Disher from Leicester. And he's up against Chris Day. And funny enough, Chris Day also, he was in the Suffolk County side many, many years ago when he was 16, 17 years old, when I was the captain there, and I brought him into the A-team, and he's never looked back. All those years ago when he had his flowing locks. Yeah, Tommy's, well, he's come onto the Challenger Tour this year, sort of picked his cue back up after a good time, well, let's just say on the outskirts of the game. But he's already won a Tier 1 Challenger Series event this season. So proving that he can roll back the years. Obviously, in his heyday, one of the greatest players that did play this game of 8-ball pool. Tommy playing the loss of turn there. Clever little shot. Bit of a little tactical battle this morning between Tommy and Chris.
Not what Tommy will want to get into. Tommy will just want this to be a really open game, won't he?
He will indeed.
Just attack and go. He is a breath of fresh air, really. I love the way he plays the game. We saw him on the string tables at the Challenger in that final. It was brilliant.
Lovely shot there from Tommy as well to bring out that red. I was actually chatting with Chris this morning, having just a little bit of a light breakfast and talking about his match with Tommy. He's overdone that with the cue ball. Speed of table maybe caught him out there, and Chris didn't really know what to expect from Tommy, so I sort of warned him.
It's a banana skin game. Massive banana skin game here, this one for Chris Day. Everyone will look at this and go, well, Chris is top 16. You know, would be expected to to win this against a player that's only sort of coming back into the game. But you know, Tommy can play lights out still. So this is gonna be a coin flip, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Chris. Wow.
Definitely tough if you're going to miss balls like that.
Yeah, that was not on the menu for Chris Day this morning. Very tough shot, though, for Tommy Donlon here. Yeah, went full-blooded at it. I don't think he's knocked that red over far enough to block that yellow. Well, another funny shot there from Chris Day. Okay, he's got us dead straight on this, so he can just run the cue ball through here, just get the cue ball past the 8 ball, down onto the yellow at the bottom, but sure we'd like to get the cue ball. We could play that yellow into the centre, but it's okay.
Yeah, just a little bit high though, isn't it, to make it really easy, because he can't just drop this in and have 8 ball left centre. So it's just pressure. I mean, it's first frame he maybe adds to it, but he shouldn't have an issue getting these. It's just...
Well, you just soft screw off 2 rails now, you've got to. But it's not, like you say, it's not an easy shot, not gimme. We didn't, he just played it plain ball.
I don't think the short side, yeah.
I don't think he fancied it, did he?
No, I didn't fancy it. I just felt it was just that touch too high. I actually thought he might play for bottom left there, weirdly. He's played the short side position and played it beautifully.
Well, that was a long opening frame, nearly 8 minutes.
I thought you were going to say 26 minutes.
Felt like it.
Yeah, it did feel like it. Do you think? I mean, we you know, tend to stay away from these subjects when we're on air. But do you think there was a little bit of back and forth beforehand, and Chris was ready, Tommy wasn't, and there was some, without going into detail, Chris didn't really know what was going to happen. Do you think that can play a part in his thinking coming into this early part of the match, that there was slight confusion about what's going on and what should be happening?
Yeah, absolutely. It's he does look a bit confused, and also with the players playing, he doesn't know who he's playing really as well, and that also in the back of your mind. Chris is a man who likes to be prepared. If he's playing Tom Cousins or if he's playing Sean Chipperfield, he knows what he's going to get, what to expect, but he doesn't know what to expect with Tommy. Is that cue ball going to go in the corner? It is. So we're going to get Tommy now with hand on table. This is perfect for Tommy. He needs to just get himself, let's say, acclimatised in that arena. Obviously, this Rasson Apollo table plays a bit differently to the club tables.
Sort of chance he's looking for, though, isn't it? He'd like lots of these. I mean, all players would like lots of these. This is wide open, but Tommy will want an open game. Yeah,
I mean, this is Tommy's domain now. Just open potting. He's very good with his cue ball as well. His controls sublime. I'm waiting for it to happen here as I give him the build up. Yeah, how many times yesterday? That Cole Bedford red was the worst one, I think.
I'm really surprised he's gone reds. Like you, I just felt yellows were the set here. I know the 2 at the top, but you have ball in hand, so dealing with those 2 shouldn't have been a problem. And then the 5 at the bottom, all kind of connected.
I agree.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, reds are still absolutely fine. Just thought yellows were easier.
I think he's got a bit far there. I think he played to be on the red that's nearest to those 2 yellows on the bolt line. Yeah, with every red that Tommy's potting, I know that the case gets bigger for the yellows.
Yeah, definitely. Big, very big now. Shot to play. Yeah, and it's gone wrong. Very surprised. Dig one out here. He's still favourite to make this, but it is harder than he wanted it to be.
He'll be playing the cut into the middle.
Cue ball's okay.
Oh, that's super.
Beautiful shot. So he's going to get out.
Lovely finish in the end. I mean, but that's what he can do. This is the thing, it's potting. He's not bothered about pots. He backs himself every time to make them, and his cue ball, he's have a little shake of the head a bit, and that's because he fell out of position on that fourth to last red.
Yeah, he gets on that one, it becomes a lot easier. The hardest ball to get on was that one. Maybe he just wanted a challenge. I mean, maybe he looked at the yellows and thought, the yellows are too easy. I want to really get myself going with a really nice finish on reds.
Yeah,
no. Not buying that one. Well, both players are up and running now, 10 minutes into the match. And both will settle in. 10 more frames in this session. Single elimination tournament as well. There's no safety nets here. Deep races, win or go home. Climaxing tomorrow. Beautiful break that from Tommy. Got through that really nicely. Easy power as well. Didn't really over-hit this, and they've really exploded on him. And another layout he's just going to love. This time I do think it's reds. Red by the 8-ball. Probably the biggest challenge. Maybe you could have made a case that every yellow actually has a pocket, nothing needs to be moved. Just looked like the connections were going to be tricky, but he's gone reds.
The way to describe Tommy when he was playing at the top of his game would be like a slower Chris Melly. A bit more measured, you know, in his thinking, but it was all the same sort of attacking. You know, you could see the way he could work a cue ball and all of that. And I mean, I was so impressed when he won that Challenger Series, you know, that Tier 1. Left himself a bit short again, or has he come too far, one or the other? Either way, I think he's going to have to play the double this time, but it's going to be hard to keep the cue ball onto the black. Ugh, awesome. Well, if Chris didn't know what Tommy was like at pool, he does now.
And actually, now that the 8-ball's gone in, those two finishes will irritate, or can irritate a player, because you watch your opponent getting themselves into trouble and you think, well, they might not get out here on what was a fairly open finish, and then they pull out a shot at the end, and it's sort of a little, just a mini kind of dagger just to kind of just eat away at you. If your opponent keeps doing that, it's almost feels more punishing than a player that just makes it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we'll obviously have a lot of people watching Tony that won't have seen Tommy before, or may have only seen him in the Challenger final. But he's obviously very much your era. You know, how good was he at the best? You know, where was he in the world of the pool?
For me, I'm going to tell you right now.
That's what I asked.
Well, this is what I'm going to reply. He was, when I played and I started playing pool, on the first turned professional, Tommy had turned pro, I think, about a year, 18 months before me. I think he was actually in the 3PL, which is the old pro association, the youngest ever professional in the game. I think he turned pro at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
For me, the best player I ever saw at that time.
Incredible.
You know, if I could pick out, say, like 4 or 5 players of all time that I ever saw play pool, he's in it.
That's seriously high praise, isn't it? That's
with
incredible.
Cousins and Melling and the Mick Hills, you know, Gareth Potts, we're talking about the very, very best.
And he did it. You were telling me, because we obviously, you know, breakfast and coffees this morning, we were discussing it, and you were saying he did it in a style that people wanted to watch, in an era where people didn't want to watch it.
Well, we spoke earlier about this, and I said when myself and Tommy first played the game, the rules are so different. A lot of people
giving him the big build-up, he goes and makes a big error. That was a big error.
We didn't miss the pot.
That's true. He's a big pot.
No, in an era when the game there, and a lot of the older people that are watching now of our age will remember the old rules where people could break off, and it was just required to have 2 balls hit a rail from the break. So the fashionable thing was to just tap the pack and put it into a triangle shape again, which was 99.9% of players all played like that, because the game was right. It was a test of endurance. Let's see how long we can go without potting a ball and ball the pounce off my opponent. There's myself and Tommy were probably, and maybe a couple of others, but somebody tapped the pack against me, I just smashed them all around the table.
Yeah.
So when I get asked the question, oh, you'd love the rules now. Well, I don't know if I would, because of those old rules, I was always going game first, and so was Tommy. And you put these players that want to play safe all the time immediately on the front foot. They don't want to be on it. But he used to tag out finishes like a surgeon.
Yeah, you were obviously telling me this morning, and I said that whilst obviously that's very entertaining and great to watch, you can only do that if you're a great player. Because if you do that and aren't good enough to take out the finishes at least 50% or higher, you're going to lose a lot.
Well, that's it. And also, there's another thing that was very at the forefront as well. People used to say to me, Tommy, especially Tommy, how do you know your angle's coming out of snookers? Because I'm always in them. Because if you don't get game, you're going to be snookered to death.
Yeah, of course.
So you learn all these silly shots with playing balls off 3 cushions, because you'll go game, and a lot of times you'll fall out of position, and you have to play twice across doubles, balls off 3 rails into corners. You know, this is where Chris comes into his fall, because he just go game willy-nilly, and he learnt all this. That's why you snooker Chris Mellon, you think there's a good chance he's going to come out and pot
get worried,
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Chris Day,
he's flowed through these. I mean, he was always going to. Tommy took just enough of the reds off the table to clear the path to make it a very simple counter for Chris, but he'll be pleased, because Tommy was just starting to flow back-to-back off the break, and that was looking like a third. But we are all square. First 4 frames done. First third of this session in the books, and it's 2-2.
one thing about Chris, a very determined fellow at the table. Super accomplished player. First person I saw when I got here on Thursday actually was Chris was out practicing. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's putting balls as close to the rail as possible and thumping them down the rails. Unbelievable. And I looked at him, I thought, wow. I said, you're playing well. He said, well, I just like loosen my arm doing that. What, thumping balls down rails? But incredible good cueist.
Yeah. Works hard at his games, Chris. Deserves everything that comes his way. He works so hard. It's a good break this from Tommy again. 8-ball though. Not good.
I think he can get it out in the first shot. If he plays with yellows, if he does take them, he can cut the one into the right-hand centre pocket and send the keyboard straight into black and yellow.
Catch it thin. Thinner the better. Oh, he's going to screw into it.
I don't like that shot.
It's come out okay. He's got to cue the next one in, but if the next ball goes in, then the layout's there for him.
Well, this is it. Straight pot into the middle. Was slight angle, but these are missable.
Very good. Now it's very different now. 2 shots in. It would have been, obviously, before my era, really, but I would have loved to have seen Tommy in the heyday in terms of doing this in a style where no one else was doing it this way.
He's had 147 as a snooker as well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's just. But what I was about to make the point, look at what he's doing now. We're in an era where we're playing on 30 seconds a shot. where majority of players now, whether they're on that 30 seconds or not, will play within the 30 seconds because they want to get their natural pace to that level. And he's playing quicker than he's up there in the top 10% of players' speed even now.
But to be fair,
fresh air.
He plays at the same pace. You know, if he stood there looking at something, there is a decision, an important decision to be made. He's not just stand there for the sake of it.
Yeah. But his natural pace is just really refreshingly quick without rushing. You know, he's not running around or anything like that. It's just decisions made, let's get on with it. And it's great to watch. But I'd love to have seen him do this in a room full of people that are fudging. And he's, you know, obviously there was yourself and him doing it. But I would love to have seen that.
And like I said, when you go to these big events and there'd be like, let's say 20 tables in a big venue and people are out playing in these tournaments, and the crowd would be spread about looking at all certain matches, and then you get Tommy called to a certain table and the crowd would all go over there and have just to watch.
I understand it. I would be the same. I would go over there myself.
You know, you can walk into a venue and you see the crowd are all by one table. You know, someone's out there that's very special playing, and it would generally be Tommy.
Are you saying earlier on that you played a match, or there was a match and it was 2-1 3.5 hours in or something stupid?
John
like
Clark in Sheffield. that was a flyer, funny enough, which the name of the tournament didn't lend itself to what was happening. The Friday flyer that lasted 3.5 hours in a best of 3.
Yeah. And people wonder why the rules have changed.
2-1.
Nothing wrong if that's the way you want to play, but people don't want to watch that.
No. Don't want to play it.
You don't. You certainly don't. People do. I mean, I get it. It's a game of chess. You know, I do get it, but yeah. Anyway, we should probably talk about Chris on this layout, and it's a decent one. The yellow on the left-hand side. I don't know whether he'll be happy just dropping that in the left centre. If he is, then this is pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's played a nice shot there where he's just nudged that yellow apart from the red, so he's just opened up. He's got a nice angle onto the yellow now into the bottom right-hand corner. He's just coming around now to survey the situation. Let's see where he wants to land. So this really, in Chris land, should be 3 each. And it really is a fascinating encounter that's unfolding here. Tell you what, he's I think he's okay. Just for a second, I thought if he's gone too far past that 8 ball and can't see the yellow below him, he's made a bit of an error.
He's got himself in a little bit of a pickle here.
Yeah, I thought for a second he could just squeeze past the 8 for that yellow, but he can't. Else he'd be taking it now. He's going to play it off the red into the centre pocket. That's his attempted shot. He played it very
beautiful.
well. He's not come far enough, though.
He's not got it. And this is all his own doing. And obviously great shot to recover, but cue ball not quite playing ball.
Well, he was running out of time there and had to throw his arm at it. And that's not good for Chris because that yellow at the bottom of the table now, I know it's shadowing Tommy's red, but Tommy now has a bit of time. I think Tommy will want to play a safety at some point here because with that red at the bottom now, he wants probably, well, that's a loose one.
Yeah, he's left the yellow one, but has he left the angle to develop, or does the one at the bottom even go? I think his might go. If he can get on the bottom cushion, doesn't see enough of it? Ooh. Oh, it's tight here as well. Just. Yeah, was tight.
Well, that's perfect now for Tommy, because I'm just thinking now he could just nudge into this red and yellow, get the cue ball tucked behind the red, but also move that yellow away far enough that he will have a shot at it.
If you can get the cue ball right in there, would you play it slightly firmer to get to the yellow to the left side cushion? Because if you get cushion first, you won't make the yellow reach risky away.
With my stroke on a safety shot, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very clever shot that way round, but the red hasn't quite popped out as much as he would have liked.
I think the tables caught him out a little bit with the pace. Obviously, when he played that loose safety up there, and a couple of times when his early screw off when he went in off in the middle as well, I don't think he was expecting that reaction. So I think this table also is a little faster than the ones out in the other arena. I'll tell you, who did we see yesterday that was not like him but out of position? A fair bit was John McAllister, wasn't he? He was losing the cue a little bit.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Got stronger as the day went on.
Yeah, he did.
And then went on and won his next match, and he'll be in action later today. He's certainly one of the favourites for the tournament. No doubt about it. Oh, Tommy's now put the 8-ball in the mix. He won't want to be doing this. He knows he has to right now, but he's a big favourite for the frame, but it's getting harder to make the clearance, not easier. All Chris can do is just hang in. Hang in as long as you can. You never know.
Yeah, well, Tommy's been around long enough, to know he will be patient. He's not going to just go willy-nilly. Tried to get the cue ball right up the top of the table, then misjudged that one.
Finally gets the red out, but the 8-ball's in bother now.
Yeah, can Chris play this right? Loads of left-hand side, try and push the yellow into the black, but get the cue ball to spin off the rail behind the other one.
No, but he's got the snooker, but it shouldn't really gain him an advantage. It would be a big surprise to see Tommy foul here.
He'd have to come through all sorts of gaps.
He even mishit that one, and he still wasn't going to foul. So now what does Chris do?
I take a chance here, and I'll go off the side rail and try and hit that yellow that's touching the black and push on the cushion and put snooker. I think it's worth the risk. I'd be seriously upset not to hit a rail, even if I'll go a little bit more on the top side, so even if I hit the first yellow, I'm still going to hit a rail. I really do. I really don't think that's a shot, but that's just me. Now then, that black does go now in the bottom right-hand corner. It's a clever shot from Chris, but it's forcing Tommy's hand. But Tommy has a chance. Tommy has to go. And has Chris Day just given a bit too much bait to Tommy Donlon. That's not worked out great. But you kind of think there'd be decent safety here yet for Tommy. I think he's just done enough to stop Chris being able to pot the yellow near the pocket. But you still expect Chris is going to get pretty close to this. And if he does pot this yellow over the bag, he's guaranteed position onto the last one, and it will sneak past that 8-ball.
Oh, yeah.
Second prize.
Yeah. Not necessarily how he played it, but he'll take it.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, because now it's not as guaranteed to get out of this snooker. Well, gets out the snooker, but leaves Chris. The angle is his chance that Chris was looking for.
It's just that little angle there that if this was fairly straight, Chris would love it. But I think he might have to play to kick into the yellow and the black.
No, didn't get it, did he? Didn't get any bite.
You've got to dig it, Simon, haven't you? You really have. He's played half of it there, and he's got half a result.
Yeah,
if you like.
He was almost trying to get the cushion first and flick the yellow half ball and put it across the table, but that was... You've got to get into it.
I'll tell you what, I expected him to be right behind that black ball with that shot as well, and he's left Tommy a sniff.
Well, you said he's a great potter. This is a test of his potting.
Yeah, but not only that, he's got to pot that loose red into the top right and then bring the cue ball back behind that yellow, so off 2 rails and back for the other 2 reds.
He's not even taking it on. You can't blame him.
That's a
great
shot.
Very, very good.
Didn't even look at it.
No. I just assumed he was going to go. I mean, I think his choice is fantastic.
I would never trust myself to play that shot.
Oh, and he is going to get the reward.
Yeah.
It would be a big surprise not to see these dispatched in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, there's a little mini break here for Tommy. Opportunity, get 2 in front. These little things in these long matches are quite significant. You know, this is going to give Tommy a lot of heart. I think when Tommy first came on this season, you know, onto the Challenge Tour, I think he questioned himself: Can I live with these players? So, you know, I want to get my cue, and I want to test myself. And I'll tell you what, he's passed most of them, just with that safety shot as well, and that's 4-2 Tommy Donlon now. But I didn't even look at that. I thought he's going to try and nail that ball into the top corner, come around the angles.
Yeah, I think if the positional side, if it was more guaranteed, he probably would have done. But it was an excellent shot. And it wins him a frame. Had to be patient, not his natural game, but job done, 2 clear.
He's one of those, though, Tommy. I mean, even when he was just raw potting, you know, he is a clever player. There's no question. You know, he's not just all willy-nilly throw his arm at everything. There's a lot of thought goes in, and if it's not there, he won't make the rash decision to think, well, I'll just go anyway.
Has been hitting the break beautifully in the match so far. See if he's got another for us. Hand on the table as well. Not many players play it like this.
Well, that there is, he did at one time go and play a lot of 9-ball. He went over to the States and played in quite a few tournaments.
I like it. I like it because he does it in a way where he's able to get fairly level on it and cue through it. And what he does is, because he gets the cue ball on the line, that's slightly too far away for his stroke, so he brings his hand on the table and gets closer to it, and rather than bringing the cue ball back, but he gets that solid strike, and it really works. It's like quite a poppy break, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Short.
Quite a long way short, really.
Yeah, playing a little gentle plant into the middle.
Just gone wrong.
It's down quite quickly. Must fancy this.
Went in.
Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. Dangerously close for a split second there. Oof.
Yeah, very, very nice that from Tommy Donlon.
And that was all from that break, like you say, Simon. It's not a big. He's not just throwing everything behind into the break, the cue ball and that. And very rarely we see somebody put their hand on the table. It's more of a little American break. You know, we see let's say a zooped up version of that in the States, Bustamante. I mean, that break's incredible. I mean, and that's a pop that, you know, that's got a lot of force into it.
Yeah. On these conditions, with these balls and cloth and tables, you get that strike right. You don't have to launch for the extreme power. You still want to get power there, of course, because you want to have the opportunity to have that sort of rogue ball flying around and going in if you don't get the initial ball in. But he does it with such control. It's a really nice break. This is tough for Chris. You've been kind of had it thrown at you in the match so far. He may not have known what he was getting himself in for really in the match, what to expect, but he's had it thrown at him. It's not been flawless. Tommy's made a couple of mistakes, but so has Chris, and there's been a lot of quality in there as well. But a 5-2 down, 7 of the 12 frames played. This is high tariff, this finish. Gets one out, but with a nice angle to get left side of it. Maybe a touch too much angle. Can he use the yellows to hold and stay on the red short side maybe?
This is a shot for Chris. Played that nicely, just enough weight, but look at the result he's had. He's landed really awkward queuing over the top of that yellow, so a little bit unlucky there.
So I thought he might play into the yellows and almost just move them a little bit so that he would stay on it this way, but he went for that really delicate one, and that quarter turn has made this a real challenge. It's not going to fall. Does cause an issue at the bottom of the table though for Tommy, but it's chance gone.
It was always going to be a very tough out there for Chris Day. Oh, he's been very unlucky there, Tommy Donlon. Hammers in that yellow and knocked in Chris Day's red. And just look where he's landed.
If he can get to the cushion to be able to play the line to top left, it's not the end of the world. He's still probably favourite for the frame. He's got to get a lot of side on. Well, that will do nicely. Okay, he may not continue the visit now, but it gets him to have control of the frame and lay the snooker. Even if Chris comes out off the side cushion and kicks at this red, he's likely to not get on the last red, so Tommy in control of another frame here.
Not the best of luck there for Chris Day. The thing is that yellow doesn't go anywhere really apart from it into one of the middles. He's looking to play off the red.
Bold. Very bold, that one.
Yeah, it's one of those. I didn't think it went, and it didn't obviously. But
do you think you could have made it if you hit it a lot firmer and kind of really tried to square up a bit more? No,
possibly. I think if you are going to play it, you've got to play it very hard so it just sort of bounces in. But what he has done, at least and for Tommy's sake, he's put that yellow in front of the 8-ball. Chris tries to break it out, it failed. And where he's landed there, looking at the angle, I don't think he can play that off the yellow and black and make it. Or can he?
We're about to find out.
I'll tell you what, it would have gone.
It was on line, wasn't it? But the yellow got in the way.
Tommy there, look at disgust there, because he knows he just left himself straight on that one at the top. He didn't want to be playing this one down the bottom next. Happier now because he's got a little angle now. Could just run this one in. Just wants to get himself behind the yellow over the other side now so he can get down for the black. That's fine. He comes now off 3 rails and gets right behind the black. So wants to play this quite wide with right hand side. And 𝗏𝗏 will go round the angles. Oh,
screwing it. Not on the 8-ball nicely though.
Yeah, I prefer going around the angles there because I think you go a lot wider, but this is tough now.
Oh, used it all, but in it falls. Excellent 8-ball that for Tommy, and he is 6-2 in front and has been a stronger player. This was the escape that gave him the control in the frame. Beautiful shot, that one.
Yep, there's life in the old dog yet, bless him.
Have you spoken much to Tommy about the sort of challenge he's going through of like playing on the Challenger and being in events like this? Is a, you know, for a player that's been around and achieved a lot in the game, is it a challenge he's really embracing?
He's loving pool again, I will say that, and he's quite comical with it as well, because he said they don't know how to play me. You know, he's got quite a lot of kidology. Is Tommy? He's a good guy. Little shake of the head there. He's not happy with a dry break.
There's that beautiful pop break he can, but it's dry on this occasion.
You know, if you talk to Tommy, you know, he said they all think I'm a bit too old, but he said they'll be surprised with me, and he sort of takes it like that. I think he's got some ambition with it. I think if you asked him if he wanted to be in the pro game again, I think he'd say yes. I really do. I think he's enjoying it.
I think the way he's tracking, I think he's going to earn the right.
Ooh, Christopher.
Good shot, that, Chris. Yeah, I mean, he's flying in the challenges. He's going really well, and looking the business here.
And we know how tough that challenger tier 1 is. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're all pro level.
The final he played against Charlie Rip was one of my favourite matches I've commentated on all year. It was fabulous. Yeah. But both players, Charlie included.
Well, he's going very well as well, Charlie Rip. I think he's here this weekend.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, very impressive player. It was the first time I saw him, actually, was when he played Tommy Bolton. And Charlie Rip, I have to say, very, very impressed with that man. Super player.
Yeah, I mean, it was off the back of, I think, the Tier 2 final, which was a little bit more of a tactical and tough affair. Both players weren't at it. And then these two turned up and played like a breath of fresh air and just entertained us. Very late night in Blackpool on a Sunday, and it was just the perfect way to end a great weekend.
Yep. Just overhit that a tad, Tommy, but he's straight down for this. Right into the centre, and ooh, way out.
That's a wide. Just got the sense that you saw in the background as that shot was being played, Chris was sort of leaning forward and kind of just looking a little bit frustrated out there. And that's the little bit of help he probably needed, that miss from Tommy.
Yeah, Chris not firing on all cylinders at the moment. You know, you start to look at this now and you think, well, you know, this is the first session, but Chris now, I think, needs 3 of the next 4. I don't think
7-5, yeah.
I don't think he wants to start coming into the second session 4 behind Tommy, because Tommy's capable of coming out and blowing you away. A couple of dry breaks and it can be very tough for Chris. It's just these little things at the moment.
Oh, he's just, isn't he? He's just causing awful, awkward shots all the time. Just every visit, there's tariff on these shots, whereas that goes an extra roll. It's no bother whatsoever.
Played that very nicely there, Chris.
It's a good recovery.
It is, because you're under pressure, you're 6-2 down, and you think you've got a nice, easy finish, and then you do that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, not again. But he's took himself out of that one. But he's still got to play a decent shot here. He's got to navigate that cue ball around those reds there, and then come down for that 8-ball.
It's going to be a challenge to get on this to bottom right. I'm assuming it goes bottom left, but it's tight.
Well, you can't track the natural angle because that red's in the way, the one that's in the middle of the 3. So, yeah, he's looking at digging down here.
screw through the gap.
He's just changed his
side
mind.
cushion and then through. Well,
it was very difficult to get through. They were all in an awkward place for Chris there, those reds.
Well, it needs it to go. I think it does. It's just not the full pocket. There you go. Perfect camera angle to see it. And off the cushion.
These are the ones you've got to imagine that red's not there. Just play the shot. Line up your spot on the 8 ball. Forget about the red completely. Just hit through the ball. Played very well. He's clipped it as well. But that's a good finish there, under a bit of pressure there for Chris Day.
He needed that, did Chris Day. There he is. Chris got one of the best shirts on the tour, I think, for me. But Tony, let me. I want to analyse this. He's obviously nicknamed CD. He's not gonna play ball here and show us the boombox on his chest. But a CD, for those that are the younger ones watching, it's how we used to listen to music.
Compact disc.
Compact disc. I don't think there's a CD slot on his music box.
No, it looks like a cassette player.
It looks like a cassette player. So, I mean, I think there's a flaw in the design.
Yeah, and to be fair, does that mean Chris Day's a fraud?
Well, I'm just wondering why, why he doesn't have a CD.
It's like being called Motorbike Mike and having a picture of a car on your shirt. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be another tough layout, this one for Chris.
But yeah, it's a ghetto blaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boombox.
Yeah, boombox, ghetto blaster, audio device, whatever you want to call it.
Audio. Oh, look at my new audio device. Yeah, okay. You're parading around the school playground.
Yeah.
At 14 years old. Look at my audio device. Stop it.
Yeah.
I can feel this going down an avenue that we don't want to be going.
I was just trying to think about how many of our viewers know what a CD is.
Oh, no, yeah, there's quite a few people pressing the mute button.
they were already there.
As soon as you said good morning. Yeah, again, it's not come out nicely for Chris. He's having a real battle here. He's gone for that. Oh.
Very, very good.
Super shot there from Tommy.
He's got a lot of work here, but if he's going to continue to go, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to take it on. The 8 ball isn't as big a problem because you've got the yellow just underneath it to break it out. It's the yellow on the left-hand side that's catching my attention.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that one?
Just having a good look now to work it out. Using extension, he's not 100% sure. He obviously now has his plan. He didn't. Oh. He'll be relieved that one stayed over that pocket there, because if that one drops as well, I think he's in a real bit of bother. But that does give him a little bit of time. We'll probably just bump these out now. Yeah, I thought he might.
Do you think he was trying to play the gap, 2 cushions and into the red and yellow on the left-hand side? Do you think that was the level of aggression we were seeing there, or? Because there's no need to move those yellows at the top. You can't have been playing cannons on the one at the top.
No, I think he thought he could get through there and come and kick it out.
Great vision. Obviously didn't find the line, but entertaining to watch.
Yeah, with Tommy, he'll see the shots, and he, like you say, with the vision and imagination.
Decided to get it out with his escape from the snooker, which is slightly risky, but he knows he's got the yellow blocking the 8 ball and the red at the top's awkward as well. And he actually hasn't left Chris an open ball. Hence the wry smile.
Yeah, the small moments are all going Tommy's way at the moment.
It's an okay shot, but it's just come far enough away from the pocket to make it a big pocket for the yellow, and that will pop open the other yellow. So
yeah, he's Tommy's already seen that. I'll tell you that now. This is going game.
And he's on it.
So just want to hit the cushion just on the knuckle first here. So we could be playing the yellow up into the top left now. Not going to bother attempting to bridge over that red. He gets these and he's guaranteed to be playing this evening in the second session with a lead. How big that lead can be for Tommy remains to be seen, but
it'll be this afternoon, Tony. Just for those wondering and looking forward to watching it. It'll be in about an hour's time.
Really?
Well, there'll be a match in between.
Ah, okay.
Or they'll be back out. Yeah. But Tommy's looking good out there. Look, we know Tommy's won a challenger event this year, and obviously we talked about his level and where you have him kind of in the history of the game. But on his comeback in this field with the best players in the world, can Tommy go on and win this tournament?
That's a fair step to take.
He's certainly playing a level. Can he just continue doing this for the next day and a half?
But again, you know, a 30-year-old Tommy Donlon, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, he's into his 50s now. He's same age as me, pretty much. But I'd have to say yes. I'm all in on it. I really am. Well, let's put it another way. If you can go and win a Tier 1 Challenger event over that duration and a weekend, then you can win one of these. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. These final 2 frames are huge for Chris Day. He might not be able to do anything about this one.
It's quite funny because going back to when we used to play, and me and Tommy be at the venue now, and I'd say to him like, "Who have you got?" He said, "A fudger." He just would never say their name. He just said, "I've got a fudger."
What did he used to say when he was playing you, though? That's the question.
Yeah. He'd say like, "How long do you want me to make the match last for the public?"
He would have liked to have got the yellow, not the red. That would have opened up the 8-ball to left centre.
I think he goes top right, doesn't it?
But if it goes top right, it'd be more than happy.
No, it's tight.
Can put it straight back and take it in the same pocket, worst way. Was he trying to avoid that yellow?
I think
it's very full.
He was about to call his extension, don't realise he already used it.
Oh, stop it.
It's not going to get there.
It is.
It's not.
Oh, wow.
Incredible effort.
God, what an effort that is.
So close.
It would have reached if the jaw just took enough out of it. If it was just dead set centre, that was going to go in. And, well, how do you like this? 7-3 down. This and 1 frame to come. And you need to win them both. This counter is tough. Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing here? Is he playing for a re-rack? If he has, that is fabulous. There's a gap. Oh, good luck. Good luck. How many tries would you need to get out of this one? That is an outrageous shot from Chris Day. It's truly outrageous. I mean, yeah. What do you do here if you're Chris? Do you just take the re-rack, or do you just keep laying the snooker?
I'm going to lay the snooker.
Yeah, keep asking the big question of Tommy, because eventually Tommy's going to flick the yellow and pot the 8 balls. What he's thinking here, the re-rack is, I mean, Tommy can't win this frame. Chris, it might take him, we might not get another frame. That shot that Chris just played is, you don't see that sort of shot very often. That was off the charts good.
Yeah.
That was seriously special. To judge the pace, when he played it, I was like, what are you doing? But to judge the pace like that, any harder he pots the 8 ball, any less he leaves a gap that Tommy can get to. I'm blown away with the shot he's played. Worth pointing out in this situation as well that referees will be very much on guard here, because Tommy has to keep making genuine efforts. I know that one was a long way away, but it was very difficult to even get to that quarter of the table. He certainly was trying to. If Tommy at any point doesn't attempt to get out of the snooker, it would just be an instant loss of frame. And this frame will conclude as well. There's 2:55 left on the clock, and the frame will conclude. So we might be here for a while.
Yeah.
The clock runs out. The only thing is, if the clock runs out before this frame finishes, if the frame continues past it, we'll play through to a conclusion.
See, where he's left it here, it's ridiculously hard. The angle's not even there, so to make the attempt is quite difficult.
Yeah, he hasn't really given 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗃 anything
No,
to think about here. He's making genuine efforts every single time. But just, I think Chris is almost laying snookers that are too good. He almost needs to leave him a snooker that's actually...
Leave him straight across.
It's straight across. Because that gap is only 1 ball's width.
I'd be tempted to do just that.
Yep.
Play this yellow now that's on the bolt line, just knock it there and put the cube on the side round near the middle bag.
Because you can't get the line from the bottom of the table. So Tommy's never going to get that line.
No. You can't, again, he's left him exactly the same spot as he did last time.
That's why he's having to come twice across the table, because you can't get there off 1 cushion.
And because he puts a side on, it's going to go wide off the second rail. Go into the bottom.
Oh, no.
Oh, now
what an effort.
Yeah, but he's giving himself a chance now.
Yeah, he's opened it up.
That's
a disaster for Chris, really.
And you can't tell me that is a proper attempt as well.
It was. I mean, how good was that? Chris has got to just keep playing the game. He's just got to keep doing it. But Tommy's now got a 1.5 gap to get through.
But now he's stopped and come round that.
Yeah.
That side now going the twice across, so it will have to be a change of approach for Tommy Donlon. In fact, he hasn't used his extension, has he? I'm just looking now. I thought he had earlier, but he hasn't. It's Chris that's used his. So Tommy will have a bit of time if he wants to take it, which he should do, really.
He calls this extension now. Oh, this is fascinating.
Well, the clock's going to run out after this.
Yeah, the match will continue, but the clock will run out very shortly.
Oh, he's hit the knuckle.
Oh, he's called loss of frame.
No.
That's a very bold call from 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗃.
I do as well.
That's very bold. He was genuinely trying to get to that ball. I know.
Think so.
It was a pace decision, I think. He's made the decision on the fact that that was played a lot softer than any of the other attempts. But obviously it looks bad because he hit the jaw of the pocket. But that had enough pace on to reach.
That was a tough snooker to get out of as well.
That was very tough. I think that's a tough call from 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗃. He's obviously having to analyse it and make a decision out there. And that was the first time that Tommy's given him a decision to make. And interestingly, he's made that decision where there was still a couple of seconds left in the match. So we will see the final frame. Have another look here and make your own mind up. Oh, sorry, this is the shot that Chris played. I mean, that's just ridiculously good to leave.
Yeah.
That. Don't see many frames of Paul like that. Well, it's a big final frame now. It's a very big final frame. If Chris can win it, get out of this 7-5, he'll be a very happy man. He'll be the happier of the two. I was actually thinking when that tactical exchange there at the end was happening, Tony, that if the clock runs out, Tommy was going to lose that frame, 99 times out of 100 from the position he was in. It was just how long. The referee was going to make that call at some point, or he was going to foul and pot the 8-ball. The only other way was to make the miracle shot. So part of me was thinking that if the clock runs out, Tommy gets out of the session 7-4 with a 3-frame advantage. Better than playing the final frame with Chris having to break and making it 7-5 potentially. Yeah. So it would have been better for Tommy just to get an extra 30 seconds out of that frame, really.
This would be good damage limitation for Chris Day should he get this frame as well for 7-5, because he could have been in all sorts of bother. Now, Tommy should have really won that last frame at that visit when he didn't get on the black properly. It did have that brilliant attempt to play it off the yellow, and it didn't quite go. Just didn't have the legs.
Yeah, but he will be disappointed because it was open, wasn't it? He would have expected to get out from where he was.
Hello. Has he got enough? I think he just...
He's okay.
That was very, very close.
He's got to be careful on this one as well. The window isn't massive because he's got to drop this in dead weight. I don't think he can hold. So therefore you've got to avoid the yellow and come back up.
He's dragging it. That's going to hit the other yellow. Yeah. Played the drag shot there, so you're just hitting the bottom of the cue, but sliding it down. But the thing is, he couldn't sort of screw it out there because he would have contacted the other yellow that was near the red. So it's like you said, there was a very small window, but
yeah, he had to pot it just that little bit thinner and get to the right-hand side of the yellow.
I think he could have dropped it dead weight. I think that was the only way he could hold it. I mean, it would have been touch and go when he got it to reach the pocket, but oh no! What?
Lost a turn.
Well, lost a turn.
For everything that happened in the last frame, Tommy wins this one now, and he should.
It's undone it.
8-4, it's undone everything that Chris will have gained from that last frame. You're absolutely right. Tommy's still got to win it, though. He's just pulled up in time to make this okay. Oh, has he?
Well... a cold stare at the ball there from Tommy, not understanding why that didn't go in the pocket.
Big shot coming up here for Chris Day, though. Nowhere near.
Not the required result for Chris Day, and he's actually putting bang on the yellow in the middle of the table as well, which helps Tommy. Nothing to do with the cue ball, it's just pure knock the balls in. Wow! What a miss.
All of a sudden, Tommy stopped playing here. With a frame and a half to go.
Yeah, that was not a Tommy Donlon shot in a million years. And he's played very well, Tommy, in this match. And he's had 2 in a row in this last frame. Huge this for Chris Day. He's made it. And this is out of jail for Chris.
Yeah.
Really is.
He'll be the happier player at 7-5 if this 8-ball goes in. And it has.
Intriguing.
What a session that was. That was so enjoyable. A brilliant session of pool. Tommy Donlon really entertained us for large periods, but Chris Day somehow has got out of this session just 2 frames behind. Sign me up, that second session. That's coming up in about an hour and a quarter's time. looking forward to that. We'll be back, though, after the break with more action.
This is the second session. He's up against Tommy Donlon. So they shake hands. This will now be played to a conclusion. You can see it is the man from Leicester, Tommy Donlon, that leads this match 7-5 after a very intriguing first session. Tommy was 7-3. Chris managed to snatch the last 2 frames as Donlon powers in the opening break of this second session. I'm Tony Holgate, and joining me is my very good friend, Stephen Jameson.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, Tony.
I know, I just reached out a bit too far there, didn't I?
Great to see you as always. Great to be on the job here. What should be a cracking second session. I watched a fair bit of this earlier on this morning in the company of yourself and our mortal enemy Simon Webb, and it was a fabulous, fabulous match. I thought Tommy played some brilliant stuff. I thought Chris also did wonderfully well to salvage something from that first session, which looked for all the world that it was going to get away from him. Just reins the disher in a fraction. It could have been a lot worse than 7-5, which basically, there's still a long way to go, feels pretty much an even game.
Yellow up the rail into the top left now, wants to sit the cue ball in between those 2 reds. Could, however, go past the pair of them if he wants to. We did see at the end of that first session, Tommy had made, or missed, should I say, a couple of putts that he hadn't been missing early in the match. So just want to see what he's done in the last hour. Has he been in? Like, there's nowhere for him to go and practice, but just to sit down and maybe have a reset. Fabulous pot there, but he's going to have to play the double now into the middle. And he just played for it. Oh, super finish. Black goes in. Donlon leads 8-5, courtesy of a sledgehammer break. A very quick finish from Tommy Donlon. Just the start he would have wanted.
Pretty content out there, does the disher?
Yeah, he wasn't so content in at 7-4 when...
No,
it wasn't 7. He was 7-3 when he had the frame awarded against him for not attempting to try and hit this black that was over the bag, and there's a couple of... Chris had a yellow nearby, and I thought it was quite harsh.
Yeah, it was a tough call.
Because it was a tough snooker to come out of, and it just caught the knuckle of the middle bag, and I don't think it was a genuine, you know, play to not attempt to hit that black. Chris breaks dry. The look of disappointment on Chris's face there told the story, because if you look at the yellows, they were quite inviting for Donlon.
What I like about Tommy from the sort of limited time that I've had watching him, I know you know him really well, Tony, is he really just gets on with it. Just doesn't, as the Aussies would say, he's not here to play around with spiders.
No, not at all.
Just gets to the table, cracks on, plays a really good brand of 8-ball.
Yeah, there's no fuss. What if he plays the yellow off the yellow into the middle here? That's what my little shot would be. Just bump that one off the rail. So play just half ball into yellow that's near the knuckle.
Just like that. It's come out okay. He's got the one to bottom right. If he needs it, he could take the one he's just bumped.
I think he plays in the middle and gets a cue ball over for the yellow into the either into the top corner or back in that same middle. Yeah, this is pretty good here from Tommy. Just got slightly the wrong angle. I think he might just have to stop this dead, or stop it as quick as he can. That cue ball always come down. Oh, he's played into the gap. Very nicely done. Lovely control. And he really is turning back the clock here, Tommy Donlon. This is a really, really good finish. Down goes the black ball, and Tommy Donlon very quickly is now taking the first 2 opening frames in his second session, and now leads 9 frames to 5 against Chris Day.
I don't really see where a break's possible today. It's going to be wall to wall. Glorious action from sunrise till sundown in Newcastle-under-Lyme. We've already seen 3 fantastic sessions. Plenty more to come. Second session right here of this last 32 match between the 𝗏𝗃 and CD. We'll then see the conclusion of Sean Chipperfield and Tom Jones. We'll then see one of the opening matches from the Ultimate Pool Women's Masters. Gonna borrow Simon Webb's crowbar and find some space for that one in a jam-packed schedule. And then before we know it, we're into the last 16 and maybe even some quarterfinals by the time we finish tonight. 4 quarterfinals, of course, as there always is, and we'll see all the opening sessions of them this evening before we hit the proverbial hay. It would not surprise me to see Tommy Donlon in those quarterfinals, the way that he's playing, and I'm also led to believe that he's something of a night owl.
Yeah, Tommy likes to stay up for a couple of jars and chin wag.
But don't let that fool you, though, because, I mean, the Challenger title that he won earlier on in the year, he took it down at about 1 AM, didn't he? It was a marathon event, and that was the Sunday, and he was still there, fighting till the very last ball of the weekend. It's no joke the amount of stamina that takes.
No, it was an incredible tournament for him to win. It's quite funny because when he was getting announced out as the day went on, it was almost like an inconvenience for him to go away from the bar to play pool at one point.
Oh, just. Thought that might have stayed up, but he had it on a nice flat enough line that it caught the pocket. He's okay. Wasn't what you'd call a clean pot, but it was a pot. In flies the 8.
Well,
10-5. What a start.
It is relentless.
Verse 3, off the rip from Tommy Donlon.
Can I say they're a wonderful pair of sandals you're wearing in here today?
Thank you, Tony. I was just going to say the same about your board shorts. I reckon between us, we've probably got a good outfit in there somewhere.
What are they called Nike Air Jerusalems or Nazareth knockabouts? I don't know what they sort of, the description of them is. They are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. They're
there's a lot of those walking around where I live in Cornwall at the moment. This time of year.
Yeah,
normally with black socks. Which is
black socks is
sets them off.
anathema to me. Yeah, I can't be having that.
Hanky on the head.
Yeah, no, none of that. I'm trying to bring the summer vibes to Players Pool and Snooker Lounge here in Newcastle-under-Lyme. And someone else who's trying to bring some happiness to us here is 𝗏𝗏. Brilliant break from CD. And his first chance, really, of this second session. Mentioned when it started that 7-5 was essentially an even money game. 10-5 is an altogether different equation. Goes downstairs first, which I quite like. I wonder, he might be a touch straight here. I wonder if his plan was to come from the bottom to the top of the table and save the one in the middle for last ball for his 8-ball, maybe to bottom right, for example. He's a bit straight to go high at the table, or has he got a gap?
Yeah, he has that gap there, past the 8 into the yellow that's near that top right.
So it might have been his plan to leave that yellow pretty straight, rather save some mileage on the cue ball. Accepted distance.
Nice shot there from Chris.
Yeah, I really like the way he's gone about this, I've got to say. He's picked a lovely route here. And really, for his 8-ball, anywhere on the left side of the table, that top left corner quadrant of this Ras on Apollo for his final yellow, and he's going to have a shot at the 8. Ship shape from 𝗏𝗏. And a good response.
Yeah, and considering what's just happened at the start of this second session, it's just been the Tommy Donlon show. Chris, all he's done is had a dry break, and the other two have been breaking finishes from Donlon. So this is his first real hand on the table in this second session, and it's impressive stuff at the moment. Because, you know, you've got to be very strong mentally. Not only be good with the cue, but be good upstairs as well.
Something I know Chris works on.
He does indeed. And this is a very, very good finish from 𝗏𝗏.
It's a roadmap from Chris. I think he's picked a lovely, lovely route. It's a nice split. Let's not go too overboard, but considering he's come out for session 2 and been blown away for the first 3 frames without getting a look at the table, it's a really tidy finish that from 𝗏𝗏. Very nicely played.
Frame 17. Tommy Donlon to break. 10 frames to
We know how quickly the game can change. We've seen it happen countless times. 𝗏𝗏 maybe here, just changing the game on his terms. Tommy Donlon 3 from home. Frame salvo at the start of the session. Chris almost needs to match it. He's in good shape to do so. Do wonder if maybe He wanted to be a little bit shorter here to get rid of one of those 2 yellows to the top left. But I think this is the line he played on for this shot. So there's another plan for Chris.
Yeah, he's just come around there, now he's looking, he wants to get the cue ball sort of just past the bolt line and be able to play the outs, the left-hand yellow into the bottom right-hand corner, because that goes and the other yellow will go in the middle. I think that's his plan.
Yeah, spins it right around to give himself some room.
I think he'd like to come back off away from that rail just a tad further.
Well, it just gives you options, doesn't it, with the cue ball?
I think if it's very straight, you're going to have the cue ball very close to that yellow then into the middle. You want to be able to pot that yellow into the bottom corner. Just bring the cue ball slightly away, give yourself plenty of room.
He's definitely got angle. He's definitely, it's not loads, but it's enough to separate the yellow and the cue ball here. I think he can play this fairly natural.
I think he's playing the other one. He's playing the right-hand one and rolling it in.
Yeah, well, oh, that was the one I thought. Just watch this fall away. Yeah, perfect. Oh, I see what you mean. You were on about the other one.
Yeah, I was a punch the other one in and played.
But
If he'd have come further the other way, he would have played the other yellow.
Well, it just goes to show how everyone sees the game ever so slightly differently with those 2 yellows, because I saw it exactly the way Chris did. But yeah, I can completely see what you mean. Simple 8 ball for Chris Day. Worked it out nicely in the end. He had behind the red door Tony Holgate, and behind the blue door was me. And he chose the blue door, that's fine. I think both would have worked there. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Tommy opened with the first 3. Chris has responded with the next 2.
Frame 18. Chris Day to break. Trailing 10 frames to 7.
Day hammers the break.
Is that yellow going to reach? No. Back comes the disher.
Yellow ball's in play.
Looks to be touching that yellow. So Tommy is on yellows.
Extension call.
Not entirely sure. The ref has called it a touch ball. It mustn't be, because if it's a touch ball, I'm sure he would have played it by now. I think he might have to just glance off this. Yeah, there's just obviously hardly any room between yellow and cue ball there, so and obviously no shot for Tommy. So he had to just give up the table and try and leave it as awkward as possible for Chris Day, who is now obviously on reds.
Extension call.
Looking at the long red down into the bottom right. Always going to be a low percentage shot there. Cue ball doesn't look too bad from Chris's perspective. Tommy's got to be a bit careful here, because if he's going to play a safety shot, he's going to be high. I think he's trying to play yellow off the yellow into the middle. Oh, he has done. He's made it as well. Nice shot from Tommy, but he's not landed great. Does that yellow pass between the reds? Tommy now having a good look at this. This is tight. There you see, right. So I don't think it goes clean, but he can play off the half ball of the red that's on the rail there.
Foul.
Or just move the cue ball, sorry, move the red with his cue there, so that is that ball in hand. It was a bit of awkward cueing. So 𝗏𝗃 now with a good opportunity to match Tommy's 3 in a row.
An excellent chance. It's a very, very good chance, this.
Tommy's come through 2 big games as well to get to this stage. I know he played Ricky Jones in the first round. I think, pretty sure he played Rob Warren.
Wow.
In the last round, last night.
I know from seeing Rob Social, I think he was a bit under the weather this week, but still such a dangerous player.
Any win against the Whacker,
oh yeah,
is a big win. Nice control once again there from 𝗏𝗃. He's held himself together very well as 𝗏𝗃, considering the blustering start that Tommy Donlon made to this second session. And now he's going to match him and have 3 in a row for himself. So we're going to be as we were at the start of this second session, although we are a good ways nearer the finishing line. Lovely shot again from 𝗏𝗏. This for 10-8. 𝗏𝗏 is fighting hard out in the arena this afternoon.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's a gamer, is 𝗏𝗏. He's not going to go away easily. This is some textbook zooming. Look at this. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
It's not going to be much of a break if you're playing it from there.
Yeah, sadly 𝗏𝗏 not back in his seat despite that beautifully longed out zoom from cameraman Andy. Might be a good time to pop the kettle on. Match will resume when both players get themselves back into the arena in just a minute. There's the Women's Masters Trophy, which is beginning very, very soon, actually. Mid-afternoon, the women break off in their competition. And Tommy Donlon has arrived back. Do you know what I never quite understood, Tony? And this was something you will have experienced, I'm sure, 1,000 times. But the sort of the communal comfort break. Because, you know, it is what it is, nature calls, all the rest of it. Does it not get a touch awkward? That stony silence.
Which bit? What, if you're left in the arena or...
No, I mean if you're both, you know, hop into the loo.
Oh, right.
You see what I mean? Because for me, if I was in there and I wanted to take a comfort break, the thing that I'd want is just to have 2 minutes to myself. But if your opponent is following you in, quite literally, does it not just sort of get a little bit sort of staring at the wall, saying nothing? Or are you taking that moment
questions would be asked.
Yeah, are you taking that moment to fill their brain with some conversation?
Generally, what I would do is I wouldn't go for one unless my opponent would go first, and then I'd sit there and wait till he come back, and then I'd go and leave them sat there. That happened quite a few. Do you know what? I think I need a comfort break now. Yes.
Tony Holgate, scheduler's nightmare.
Red balls in play.
Yeah, lots of them they seem to be quite tactical, let's say.
Oh, I think it's blatantly obvious it's tactical. Yeah, there's, you know, for as much as I say nature calls and all the rest of it, they know what they're doing. They're not daft.
I've seen some extreme ones over the years.
Oh, yeah.
One in particular in a World Championship last 16 match between Greg Farron and Carl Morris.
Why am I not surprised his name has been uttered in this conversation?
Well, to be fair, it'd been an incredible match, and it was all down to the last frame, and there would have been a bit of niggle between the pair of them as Chris Day misses a red that you'd expect him to pot there. But yeah, just to wrap this one up quite quickly, so there'd been needle through the match, and Carl had given Greg Farron 2 visits back in the day. Then it was the old world rules. And Greg Farron had like 5 easy yellows. He pots the first 3 of them, leaving 2 absolute drop-ins and an easy black ball to go into the quarterfinals of the World Championships. Turns to the referee and says, "Timeout, I'm going to the toilet." And left Carl Morris there for a good 5 minutes. I actually walked into, this is at Blackpool, and Greg Farron was sat on the sink, wiping his cue. I said, "What on earth are you doing?" Because Greg was my roommate then. The championship, he says, "I'm just letting him stand there and we'll look at those 3 balls, and I full well I'm about to knock him out of the World Championship." And that is the God's honest truth. Yeah, that's God is my witness. I can believe it, but there you go. These were the things back in the day. Tommy Donlon now with a clear sight of getting himself to frame number 11, which would be 2 away from victory.
It certainly would. It certainly would.
After Chris Day's missed red down into that bottom right. So this 8 ball into the middle bag for Tommy. And that was a big miss there from Chris Day, and Tommy says thank you very much. He now leads 11-8. Puts the distance back to 3 in front. That was a red that Chris could not afford to miss. Tommy there, a little limber up with his neck muscles.
Yeah, it was an important visit to the table for Tommy, who just keeps on extending that lead. 11-8 now, back to 3 frames, 2 from home.
Frames to 8.
Chris Day, 5 from home. Slams the break, bullies it. He wouldn't have minded that 8 ball dropping.
No, that's in a really precarious position for both players.
Yeah, this is a tough frame to win. It's a tough frame to win. Yellows and reds scattered on that top rail, and one of the top pockets is completely unavailable.
Well, this is where you probably now, the choice of colour would dictate where that black ball is, and you think, well, which are the easiest ones to get out and away from there?
He may not take a pot on, but he certainly did. I think right now, you would probably rather be yellows.
I think I would now. If Tommy can cut that yellow back into the right-hand middle, get the cue ball over to the other side of the table and get those other yellows out. There's a way you could get you could pop the loose one and then bring the other two out the same shot. If you can do that, you put yourself ahead in this frame.
Yellow ball's in play.
First things first, you've got to get that yellow out that's next to the red. That has to come out. Pot this. Maybe pot the other one. Too risky to start thinking of going into it, because if you go into that yellow from that side, you're going to knock the red into the black ball and knock it in and lose the frame.
I think you've got to use the yellow left centre, don't you? And try and come off the left side rail. But
Don't like it.
Even that's horrible.
If you come into that full ball into the red, you'll send a cue ball into the 8. I'd be actually looking at it thinking, right, where can I get in a position? Here's one for you. Pot the one that's in the middle. Pot the other one down at its bottom corner. You can play off the top rail with a cue ball, half ball into that yellow. It goes off the left-hand side rail and back into that right-hand middle. He's going to try and flick this. This is dangerous.
Yeah, rather you than me. I do not.
Well, you've got to come into the top rail first. If you clip this yellow on the way up there,
trouble.
You've had it, yeah. Well, he's not gone. Do you know what? Can he play the double? Can he get past that red ball into enough cushion to play the double? I think he can, you know.
That's what he's playing.
Oh, he's got
it. Oh, disher, Donlon.
Oh. That's dirty.
Dirty Donlon.
That is very, very dirty.
Dirty dishes at the Masters.
Wow.
Get your fairy liquids. Tommy Donlon's in town with a filthy, filthy double here. Well, here we were wondering at length how on earth Tommy Donlon's going to win that frame by moving that ball. And wouldn't you know it, he just plays on it and makes a fantastic double. And that may well be the dagger. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was just an extraordinary finish there. We're thinking about that yellow ball, and all the time Tommy had prepared himself to play that double.
Yeah, wasn't even second thought, wasn't it?
Looked dry for a second there, but red and yellow departed to the top corners. So Donlon's going to get a look at the balls to get himself through. He takes, lumps that into the middle bag. The balls are there for Tommy Donlon to advance. Control, place the plant next. I'm just so impressed with him, I have to say.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, been sensational. Been absolutely sensational.
To consider he's in and I'm not joking, probably, you know, up towards his 40th years, you know, as playing at the top.
A serious, serious stick.
One decent pot and a good positional shot away from beating Chris Day.
Performance. What a performance it's been.
And a big pocket in the middle now for Donlon to take another one of Ultimate Pool's top pros out of this Masters tournament.
And the disher does it. What a performance from Tommy Donlon, the Challenger Series champion this year. Has shown that he belongs at the very top level. A brilliant victory over Chris Day, whose Masters campaign comes to an end.